This is gonna blow your mind. Let's be honest, we all want to be the best lovers we can be for our partners. It's about connection, intimacy, and bringing them ultimate pleasure. And let me tell you, once I learned these 7 things, I was able to give women the best and most expansive orgasms of their lives. Look, there's no shame in wanting to step up your game in the bedroom. It's about learning what works, what feels good, and how to unlock those next-level experiences with your partner. It's about seeing that look of pure bliss on their face and knowing you were the one who put it there. And that's why in this video I share with you all of these 7 methods, so you can do the same and be the best lover she ever had. Watch this video to learn my 7 best G-spot stimulation techniques right now. Alright, first up is the come hither motion. Imagine beckoning someone closer with your finger. That's the energy we're going for here. With your fingers lubed up and in position inside her, you're going to use your first 2 fingers to gently curl in a come hither motion towards the front wall of her vagina. That's where the elusive G-spot is hiding, guys, and trust me, you'll know when you found it. It's going to feel slightly different than the rest of the vaginal wall. A little bit rougher, a little bit more textured, like the skin on the roof of your mouth. Now, when you're doing the come hither motion, it's not about speed, it's about precision and pressure. You want to apply firm, consistent pressure as you curl your fingers inwards, stimulating that G-spot just right. Don't be afraid to experiment a little with the angle and pressure to find what feels best for her. Communication is key here, guys. Ask her what feels good, what she wants more of, and what she doesn't like. Remember, every woman is different, so what works for one might not work for another. The come hither is a great starting point, but don't be afraid to get creative and explore other techniques as well. And trust me, when you find that sweet spot, the look on her face will be all the confirmation you need that you're doing something right. So take your time, be gentle, and get ready to unleash some serious pleasure. Now we're turning up the heat with the rock and roll. This technique is all about rhythm and finding that sweet spot again. Imagine your fingers are rocking out on a guitar. That's the kind of energy we're going for here. With your fingers still on her G-spot, start making a gentle rocking motion back and forth. You're not going too deep here, just a subtle movement that stimulates the G-spot with every rock. Think of it like a gentle massage, but with a purpose. You're not just randomly moving your fingers around, you're targeting that specific area and giving it some love. As you get into the rhythm, you can start to experiment with the speed and pressure. Some women prefer a slower, more sensual rock, while others like it a little faster and more intense. Again, communication is key here. Pay attention to her body language and don't be afraid to ask her what feels good. You might be surprised at what you discover. The rock and roll is a great way to build up anticipation and keep the pleasure flowing. It's a versatile technique that can be used on its own or in combination with other moves for an even more mind-blowing experience. So get ready to rock her world with this one. Alright guys, it's time to get hooked on pleasure with this next technique, aptly named the hook. This one's all about targeting the G-spot with a precise and oh-so-satisfying hooking motion. Imagine you're a pirate captain and your hook is about to snag the treasure chest. That's the kind of confidence and precision you want to bring to this move. With your fingers still inside her, gently curve them upwards towards the front wall of her vagina. Once you've located that magic G-spot, maintain firm pressure and slowly drag your fingers downwards towards the entrance. It's like you're gently scraping the surface of her G-spot with each hook, sending shivers of pleasure throughout her body. The key here is to be slow and deliberate. Don't rush this move, savor it. Let the sensation build gradually, teasing her with each hook. You can experiment with the pressure and speed, but always start slow and gentle, gradually increasing the intensity as she gets more turned on. The hook is a fantastic technique for building up to an explosive orgasm. It's all about teasing and tantalizing, driving her wild with anticipation. So channel your inner pirate and get ready to plunder her pleasure treasure with the hook. Chapter 4. The press and hold. Sometimes the simplest moves are the most effective, and that's definitely the case with the press and hold. This technique is all about applying consistent, focused pressure to the G-spot, sending waves of pleasure radiating throughout her body. Once you've located her G-spot, maintain firm and steady pressure with your fingers. Don't move, don't wiggle, just hold that pressure and let the sensation build. It might sound too simple to be true, but trust me, the press and hold can be incredibly intense. As you maintain that pressure, encourage her to breathe deeply and relax into the sensation. You can even incorporate some sensual massage on her clitoris or other erogenous zones to heighten the experience. The key here is to be patient and attentive. Pay close attention to her body language and breathing. You'll be able to tell when she's enjoying the sensation and when she's ready for something more. The press and hold is a great technique to use on its own or as a building block for other moves. It's all about creating a deep, satisfying pressure that will leave her wanting more. Chapter 5. The Circle. Let's get those good vibes flowing with the circle, a technique that's all about using circular motions to stimulate the G-spot and drive her wild with pleasure. Imagine your fingers are drawing tiny circles on her G-spot, each rotation sending waves of ecstasy through her body. Start by locating her G-spot with your fingers, applying gentle pressure. Once you've found it, begin making small circular motions with your fingers. You can experiment with the direction of the circles, clockwise, counterclockwise, or even alternating between the two. The key here is to find a rhythm that feels good for her. Some women prefer smaller, more concentrated circles, while others enjoy larger, sweeping motions. Pay attention to her body language and don't be afraid to ask for feedback. As she gets more turned on, you can gradually increase the pressure and speed of your circles. You can also incorporate other techniques like the come hither or the hook into your circular motions for even more intense stimulation. The circle is a versatile technique that can be used in countless ways to keep things interesting and pleasurable. So get creative, experiment, and find what works best for her. Chapter 6. The Tap. Sometimes it's the subtlest touches that ignite the most intense pleasure. That's where the tap comes in. A technique that's all about building anticipation and teasing her senses with light rhythmic taps on her G-spot. Imagine you're a drummer, your fingers tapping out a sensual beat on her most sensitive spot. That's the kind of playful energy we're going for here. With your fingers positioned on her G-spot, start by gently tapping the area with your fingertips. Keep the pressure light and the rhythm consistent, like a soft drum beat building up to a crescendo. You can experiment with the speed and intensity of your taps, but always start slow and gentle, gradually increasing the stimulation as she gets more turned on. The key here is to tease and tantalize, building up anticipation with every tap. You can even incorporate some verbal teasing, whispering in her ear about how good she feels and how much you want to make her scream. The tap is a fantastic technique for building up to an explosive orgasm. It's all about teasing and tantalizing, driving her wild with anticipation. Chapter 7. The Combo. Alright guys, now it's time to take everything you've learned and put it all together for the grand finale, the combo. This is where you unleash your inner sex god and create a symphony of pleasure that will leave her breathless. The beauty of the combo is that there are no rules. You can mix and match any of the techniques we've covered to create a custom experience that's tailored to her desires. Start by incorporating 2 or 3 techniques that she particularly enjoyed, and then get creative. You can transition seamlessly between the come hither and the rock and roll, or combine the hook with the circle for an intensely pleasurable experience. The possibilities are endless. As always, communication is key. Pay attention to her body language, ask for feedback, and don't be afraid to experiment. The more you explore and try new things, the better you'll become at reading her body and knowing what she needs. Remember, the goal is to create an experience that's pleasurable for both of you. So relax, have fun, and enjoy the journey. There you have it, gentlemen. 7 powerful techniques for G-spot stimulation that will unlock her deepest pleasure and leave her begging for more. Remember, practice makes perfect, so don't be afraid to experiment and find what works best for you and your partner. Try these 7 techniques and watch her experience the most intense orgasms of her life. Communication is key, so be attentive, listen to her body, and don't be afraid to ask for feedback. The more you explore and experiment, the better you'll become at pleasuring her like never before. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tips on becoming the best lover she ever had. Your support helps us create more content to help you master the art of intimacy.